episode of A Rare Reality, powered by Jordan's Guardian Angels. I am Christina Janes, Director of Outreach and Awareness for JGA, and I am joined by members of our team today. Carol Backhouse, our Project Director, Brittany Cardoza, our Assistant Project Manager, Larry Ferris, Assistant to the Chair, and we are joined by two special guests today as well, Sean Calomia and Jerome Durger, who are both from Columbia University. We are so thrilled to have everybody together to talk all about our family conference. Guys, we have so much to talk about before July happens, and it's barreling towards us. So thanks everybody for being here today. I know our families are going to love to hear as much as possible. So why don't we get started, Larry, with an overall update where we are, talking about the hotel, talking about language accessibility for our families. Take us away.
Sounds good. So first thing I want to start to the families, thank you all for filling out your registration. Almost 100% completion on that. We do need a couple more. So if you're watching this and you haven't done it, please take the opportunity to fill that out. Just a few facts about the hotel. Just so everybody knows, if you're flying in, you're not going to have to leave the airport at all. You just take an air tram to the hotel. There will be no transportation issues, nothing like that. And as far as booking your hotel room, nothing to do for you with the hotel right now. That was the purpose of the registration. So I could take care of that for you guys. If something changes, we will let you know. But as of now, I'll be booking everybody's rooms for when their planned arrival and departure dates. And then lastly, for translation, just so everybody knows, we're going to have two TVs in the main conference room that we're participating in. One will be translated in French, one will be translated in Spanish. For those of you that don't speak French or Spanish and you speak a separate language, we're using a Huva app, which Carol will detail more. It will have the ability to translate in your specific language. So thank you again, and can't wait to see you.
Oh, it's going to be so great to have everybody in the same spot. And we're really trying to put everything in place so that it's easy, that it's accessible for everyone, and everybody knows where they need to be, what they need to be doing. So that's kind of the purpose of this podcast, is to bring you all up to speed with where we are now. We have a lot of meetings about it, but we have to make sure you know what we're talking about too. So just so you guys have an idea at home of the agenda for that week, Thursday and Friday in the morning, there are some spots that will be open for the research, and we're going to talk more about the research here in just a second, but there are spots open for you to take part in that as well. The conference runs from 3 p.m. on Friday until 2 p.m. on Sunday. Saturday is going to be mostly committed to the research updates for the families. Sunday will focus more on Jordan's Guardian Angels and our families as a whole. Keep in mind that Friday night is Dad's night out. Saturday night is Mom's night out. Always a favorite with our families. So that should be a lot of fun to have everybody taking part in that. Simultaneously when those are happening, we'll have movie nights running. So families will have a place for the kids to be and for everybody to be together. So that will be happening both nights as well. So agendas are coming. We are almost done putting those together, and we will be sending you the links to those very, very soon. So just keep a lookout for that. But it should be fairly simple to follow. And while there's a lot going on, there's a lot of opportunities for everyone to take part while other things are going on at the same time. So it'll be easy and fun. You're going to learn a lot. You really will. So I know everyone has a lot of questions about the research and what's happening with that. So Sean and Jerome, we kind of want to go through this with you. Thank you so much for being here so that our families' questions can be answered. Let's talk a little bit about the 4 components of the research, what this all includes, what families will be seeing.
Yeah, so we're going to have 4 different parts of our research that are possibly available to participants. I say possibly because not every participant is going to be expected to do every one of these components. With that said, that doesn't mean that if you can't do one of these components, then you cannot do the research. So we have an EEG, a neurocognitive testing, also kind of commonly called neuropsychological testing. It's commonly used when for educational purposes, things like that. IQ tests are kind of one of the common things that people associate with neurocognitive testing. Also physical therapy, that'll include a few different components. That'll be a gait analysis, some gross motor function and fine motor function, upper extremity stuff like that. It's a lot of kind of fun playing, nothing too scary or too difficult. And then the last thing will be doing a blood draw. And that will also be kind of depending on what families are capable of. So if your family wants to participate, but they may not be able to tolerate having something on their head, we don't have to do the EEG. If they're not comfortable being stuck with a needle, we don't have to do the blood draw. Yeah.
Good. So a little bit of something for everybody and accommodations along the way. We've told our families about the fact that, we love that we're all going to be coming together for this. We love to see everybody in person, but also that this is so important. Can you talk a little bit about the goals for the research and why this is imperative to have this done at this point in time?
Yeah, so the basic goal of the research is to try and gain as robust of an understanding of Jordans as possible. And that's as inclusive as possible. That means that we want to get as much clinical information about Jordan syndrome across all different variants, across all different types of people, different ages. And we like to collect all that clinical information as well as the genetic information that is correlated with those clinical phenotypes, so that we can ideally get a better understanding of what variants are related to which things, just get a better understanding of the syndrome overall. And the big goal of natural history studies are to kind of feed into treatment and clinical trials and things like that. Given what we're doing right now is not there yet, we're not trying to test out any treatments or anything like that. We're just trying to collect all that data that is so essential to facilitating all of those later big steps that we hope to get to.
Yeah, filling up that toolbox.
Yeah.
It's like the foundation for what is hopefully next to come.
Yeah. Okay, so in the meantime, prior to participating in this research, there's 3 big things that families need to do. Let's line those out for them so that everybody's prepared so they can participate in the research as well too.
Yeah, so one of the big things that has to happen first is informed consent. So in any research, the participants have to sign off on an informed consent. And what that is it's a form that basically tells you every detailed thing about the study that we're going to do, everything that we expect from them, all the risks, all the benefits, everything. We want to make sure that everyone knows what we're doing so that they're comfortable. We don't want to surprise anybody. We don't want to ask anybody to do anything that they aren't familiar with, aren't aware of, aren't comfortable with. So that's the first thing that we're going to do, is we're going to be sending out informed consents to everybody. Along with that, we're going to have some pre-family meeting, pre-research questionnaires that we're going to ask people to complete. They're not difficult questionnaires. They're things that the family should be able to answer fairly easily off the top of their head. It's kind of just what their experiences are with their families living with Jordan syndrome. But there's going to be 5 different questionnaires. And some of them can be a little longer. It can take an hour. Some of them are very, very short. The good news about those questionnaires is that they do not all have to be completed at once. They do not all have to be completed immediately within the next week that we send them. So families will have some time to complete them, and they can kind of take their time completing them. They can start one. If it's a longer one, they can start it, come back to it. They can do some of them this time, some of this time. Yeah. The last thing that we're going to ask of families is that they provide us with their genetic test report, their diagnostic genetic test report that shows their PPP2R5D or PPP2R5C or 1A mutations. And we really need that so that we can correspond or correlate the data that we're going to collect with their genetic mutation information. And I know sometimes families it's easiest for them to just kind of send us the mutation, which is super helpful. And we know that's easy on them. But it kind of is important that we get the full report, because sometimes there's some detailed genetic information in there that is really important.
Yeah, the more information, the merrier at this point, which is great. All right,
Yeah.
perfect. We will make sure that our families get all of this information that you will be sending their way. We'll have links, we'll have emails. So keep an eye out for that to all of you at home watching this right now. So important to go through this and make sure that everybody knows what we're looking at. So thank you both. I appreciate it very, very much. We have also had lots of questions about where do the kids go during all of these presentations. So Carol, talk a little bit about corporate kids because we're thrilled to have them as part of the conference.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a lot of children attending, including the siblings, and it's going to be a great time for everyone. We wanted to make sure that all our kids have a great time at the conference, but also to free up the caregivers or the parents so they can participate in the other aspects of the conference. So that's why we partnered with Corporate Kids, and they were actually recommended to us by a few groups that have used them, and the reviews have been really positive. So as a mom with 2 children that will be participating in the conference and will be part of these workshops, I feel really good about it. Like I think they're going to be safe, they're going to have a great time, and they're going to get an opportunity to bond with the other children there. So for our children, we're gonna split them into 5 groups. We're gonna have like the infant toddler group, 0 to 2, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, or 5 to 8, you know, that tricky drop off point, and 9 to 12, and then over 12 years old. And then what Corporate Kids would do, they'll come in and have fun workshops planned for Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday morning that are age appropriate. We are not splitting our children with disabilities with those without or anything like that. We want them all to be together. If, however, you feel that your child would do better in a different age group, you're welcome to sign them up for a different age group. It's totally flexible. We want them to be comfortable and have a great time. And for each of these groups, we're going to have staff. They're mostly going to be teachers in the summer, likely because it's July in New York City. So likely a lot of the staff, according to Corporate Kids, will be teachers that are looking for additional work during the summer break. But the ratios will depend on the age group. So the smaller kids will have smaller groups assigned to 1 staff member, while the older kids might have fewer staff members. However, with everyone with Jordan syndrome, they're gonna have a 2-to-1 ratio. So they're gonna have 1 staff for every 2 children with disability. And but there's gonna be multiple staff in the room. So even if your child, you feel like, oh, they need one-on-one half of the time, they're gonna be additional help to help with that. So and nothing is too wild, too crazy. So if your child isn't mobile, you shouldn't worry about the other sibling running around or anything like that. It's all kind of like sit down activities. Expect them to get maybe dirty. So the clothes shouldn't be too fancy unless you don't care about them. They're going to be doing crafts, glue, you know, all the fun stuff. So it's going to be great. And during registration, Corporate Kids will take pictures of the family. So they make sure they always match the parent with their right child. And they'll also have an identification bracelet. So they have 2 ways to double check that your child doesn't go with anyone else that is not supposed to be with the children. There's few more information. I'm not going to go over the whole list right now, but we will provide all of that for you. If you have any questions that wasn't covered, please just email it to us. We'll make sure we get Corporate Kids on board and get their input on those as well.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's going to be such a great experience for everybody. It'll just be.
Oh, absolutely. And like one last thing for the kids, we have a children's workshop, a siblings workshop was scheduled for Saturday afternoon. That's going to be for all the siblings over 8 years of age. And we're very excited about that. They're going to get a chance to talk to the other siblings going through similar experiences and the impact on them, because we know it impacts the entire family. So we're excited for them to participate in that as well.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Carol, thanks. Hey, Brittany, you have been busy making sure that if families want to sightsee at one point or another, that they know where to go, what to do, what to see, what to eat. Tell us all about these fun guides.
Oh, yes. Guys, we are going to have so much fun. We always do, but I'm particularly excited about this conference in New York. So I've compiled a few flyers. They'll be in your binder at registration, and we'll probably circulate them prior through emails and Whova. Places to eat, places to go visit, and transportation options. So most of the places to eat, either I've been to personally or I have friends who have been to, and so I know that they are family friendly. They're in different neighborhoods, different cuisines, and different price points. So there's options for everybody. And then, some museums, fun things like the Museum of Ice Cream, and free things that are enjoyable as well, like Bryant Park, Central Park. And we, in the transportation guide, will discuss how to get to the hotel from the airport. We'll talk about taxis and ride shares and metro options. So all of that will be easily accessible for you. Another fun thing that we have that's going to happen, back by popular demand, is the dance party, everyone's favorite. And that'll be Friday night after dinner. And we want your help coming up with a list of songs for the DJ to play. The link for that is going to be in the podcast notes. So make sure to go through the notes after you're done listening and add some of your favorites.
Yes, please. It's going to be so much fun. Keep in mind, for those families who want to know too, there will be some loud music, and we will have some lights going on. Nothing too crazy, but just wanted to make sure that families knew that as well. It's going to be really fun, but we like to give the disclaimer just so you can plan ahead too. While all of this is going on, there will be times throughout the conference that we will be able to conduct interviews with families. My husband Nick and I, many of you have met Nick before. We take all of this material, we make all of the videos that go out on our website, on our social media as well. It's just great to hear your personal stories, your journey through Jordan syndrome, everything that you've been through, your amazing kids, highlighting your families. We talk about it's very simple. We'll just be asking questions, having a conversation for a few minutes, and then we'll get some video of you as a family together. So it's kind of a nice way to mark the occasion, and you have a really great memory of your kids too. So we'll be using those throughout the year to highlight what we do at Jordan's Guardian Angels and what Jordan syndrome is, how it's affected your family, and all the beautiful things that your kids do on a regular basis. So keep in mind, it's not scary. It is very easy. It's just going to be you guys and me talking to each other with a few cameras in the background. But we try to ignore those as best we can and just chat. So that'll be easy. There will be a media release going around to make sure that we can use you on camera, use your kids on camera as well. And there will be some media coverage throughout because this is such a big deal. The research is so important and everyone will be together. There may be a TV news crew in the New York City area once in a while just to peek in and see what everybody's doing. So if you have any questions about that, please do not hesitate to reach out. No question is a silly question. I'm happy to answer any of those as well. Carol, we have lots of things that are coming up, our next steps before we let everybody go, because we've filled you with information, but what comes next?
Right. So Larry mentioned that we're going to be using an app called Whova, and that's going to be for in-person attendees and for our virtual attendees. And the premise of that is that all the information is going to be in one spot. You can access your sessions. If you're joining remotely, you can watch it through the app. You can chat with other attendees. You know exactly where you need to go. You can look at, some of these guides we're creating, the floor plan. I mean, all the information will be there for you. So it'll be easier for you to see. You can also schedule yourselves into some of the workshops, and now you'll get pre-scheduled for some, and then you can pick which others you want to do or choose not to do. So more information will come on that. We will do in everything Whova kind of podcast or video or something, so you get that information, so it's not another thing that you have to learn or worry about. And in about a month, in mid-June, we'll do an Ask Me Anything Zoom call or Facebook Live. We'll see what makes more sense for our families, where we'll have Sean and Jerome join. We'll have our team, maybe someone from Corporate Kids. They weren't able to join us today. And you can ask any question you have pertaining to the conference, whether it's specific to your schedule or anything that is on your mind. We'll just take the time to answer those. So you'll get the opportunity to do that. But of course, in the meantime, if there's anything that you can think of, you're unsure of, or you need help with, please reach out. We're all here to support you with that.
Yes, please, please. We are so excited. There's so much planned. We're going to learn so much, spend so much time together, and it's going to be a really wonderful weekend. It's going to go by in a flash. It always does. So, Sean Calamia, Jerome Durgard, thank you guys so much for joining us from Columbia today, answering all of these questions, laying it out for our families, and to all of you here on the team. Thank you guys. There will be more of these in the coming months because there is lots to tell you. So thank you all. We look forward to seeing you guys at the conference. Again, if you ever want to check in on any of these podcasts, you can find them on all of the major podcast platforms, or you can go to our website, jordansguardianangels.org, and watch the videos there as well. They play out there, or on our YouTube channel with translation supports as well. So thank you guys. Thanks so much. And we will see you all soon.